This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk Today, halfway home to the weekend. Our program being brought to you by Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue. You get Marv's on the job 24/7. Don't hesitate. Whatever goes wrong, whatever fires badly in your place, whether it's a broken water heater or the heating air conditioning unit's not functioning, give Marv's a call. They've been around here for a long, long time. 1515 Logan Avenue. Like I said, they're there 24/7. Mondello's Pizzeria. 7 days a week, the best in Paisan cuisine. This is not a corp. This is locally owned, locally operated. My good buddy Joe Mondello's been doing this for a long time. Not his first rodeo. 7 days a week, you can enjoy delicious pie, pizza pie, East Coast style from Mondello's Pizzeria. Right there at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. 1508 Stillwater Avenue, across the street. It's First Year Bank, open Monday through Friday, offering right now a 3.1% annual percentage yield on a 27-month CD. Check them out today. First Year Bank of Cheyenne. Lennox Auto Body, the name synonymous with auto repair for a quarter century. Founded by Dick Lennox. Tradition carried on by Heather, and I'm telling you, she has not missed a beat. Again, she runs the auto and a truck repair center over on Dunn Avenue, and then always heads on over and takes care of the auto glass and detail center on Pershing Boulevard. Remember, over on Pershing, it's not clean until it's Lennox clean. Medicat Pharmacy. For all your pharmaceutical needs with your doctor's prescription, let Gene Barber and his staff fill those said prescriptions precisely and explain those medications to you. They got a convenient drive-thru. You can shop inside. They're open Monday through Saturday. Medicat Pharmacy on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Platte Valley Bank ×2. Banking done the old-fashioned way. Banking done the modern technology way. Everything in between. 2 locations, as always, on the north side over on Vanda High. And, of course, you can catch up with Platte Valley Bank on the east side as you're heading home tonight at the corner of Pershing and College. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. The lot is filled with the 2019 edition of Kias, and again, waiting for a new home. My good buddy AJ over there is going to make you an offer you can't refuse. So check out Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way and take a test drive on one of those good-looking Kias on the lot. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Delrange. It is graduation season with a plethora of graduations happening, especially next week. Go to CheyenneChicken.com. Let Ray and Cindy and the great crew come on over and do a cater out that is absolutely fabulous. Or, you can have them do one for the office. They serve up 3 squares for you, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Delrange, directly across from Powers Field and right across from Menards. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service over on Highway 30. Your exclusive home for Jayco RVs, fifth wheels, and travel trailers. They'll make you a great deal today with great financing packages in place. And we also want to thank Taco John's, where, yes, the sirloin steak burrito is back. It is selling well for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at Taco John's of Cheyenne. We get things underway with our scoreboard. It's being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go first to Nick.
Well, I got none because at least NHL for the Stanley Cup, at least the Western Conference Finals got wrapped up yesterday for St. Louis as they will move on to take on the Boston Bruins. But the Stanley Cup Final, that will start on Monday. So for NHL, there is no action. The only thing of relevant, or if you're curious at all, at least on the hockey realm, is happening tonight in the Calder Cup playoffs in the American Hockey League. With the Western Conference Final, how about Chicago Wolves? They are taking on the San Diego Gulls. That game, at least it will be game number 3 happening tonight in San Diego. And you can see that game actually on NHL Network for tonight. So hockey for tonight, at least keep you going until Monday when the Stanley Cup Final
begins. If you're really that desperate.
Yeah.
Major League Baseball, let's get to the scoreboard. Brewers at Miller Park have defeated the Reds today 11-9 in a slugfest. Top of the fourth inning at Petco. Padres are blanking the Diamondbacks 5-zip. Final out of Progressive Field with the Athletics defeating the Tribe once again 7-2. They got the first one in of a twin bill in the I-70 series between the Royals and the Cardinals, and it was Kansas City defeating the Redbirds at Busch 8-2. They will have Game 2 coming up in a little bit. Rangers nipping the Mariners 2-1 at Globe Life Park. 5:05 game. We'll have the Rockies taking on the Pirates. John Gray will get the call for Bud Black this evening. He'll be going up against, this sounds like a band here, Montana du Rapu will be on the hill for the Bucks. Montana du Rapu. Also in the 5 o'clock hour, Yankees and the O's. It will be the Bo Sox and the Blue Jays in the Rogers Center. Dodgers Rays at the Trop. Marlins Motor City Kitties over at Comerica. Also in the 5 o'clock hour, the Mets playing host to the Nationals at Citi Field. And as we mentioned, Game 2 between the Cardinals and the Royals slated for 5:45 of that day-night double dip. It will be in the 6 o'clock hour, the Cubs and the Phillies at Wrigley. Astros hosting the White Sox at 6:10 in Houston. In the 7 o'clock hour in SoCal, Angels will have a date with the Twins, and the Giants will wrap things up tonight at Oracle Park in San Francisco as they will entertain the Atlanta Braves. Nothing on the basketball side. West is wrapped up. East is now tied at 2 games apiece as the Raptors drew even last night by blasting the Bucks 120-102 in the Scotiabank Arena. Game 5 will head back tomorrow evening in Milwaukee at the Fiserv Forum as Milwaukee will entertain Game 5. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
If it happens on the diamond, the hardwood, the field, or even the ice, we'll talk about it on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Hi, this is Nick Peretti inviting you to join Larry Peretti and myself each weekday from 3 to 5 p.m. as we, along with our special guests, talk sports locally, regionally, and nationally. And you can chat with us too at 307-514-1071. It's Wyoming Sports Talk today only on 1480 KRAE, and you can stream live with us at 1480KRAE.com.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Our Super Radio buys include Jose Cuervo Golden or Strawberry Golden Margarita, 1.75-liter bottle, $15.99. Jim Beam Bourbon, 1.75-liter bottle, $23.99. And Tecate or Tecate Light, 12-pack, 12-ounce cans, $11.49. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with highs around 40. The tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with a slight chance of snow showers with lows around 31. On Thursday, it'll be cloudy with rain showers likely with highs around 40. And on Thursday night, it'll be partly cloudy with rain showers likely with lows around 29.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 KRAE.
Larry Proetti, Nick Proetti, and we bring on our first guest. He is the skipper of Post 6, the Sixers, Lain, joining us in a wasted weekend. And then, of course, we find you're here in studio, so that tells us that there's no game on the schedule again. Mother Nature right now 4-0 against you guys over the last few days.
Yeah, Post 6 was supposed to be in action today up in Casper, but due to the recent weather, at least from our understanding, Casper got a little bit additional snow up there. So a game that was supposed to happen today, again, has been written off as past weekend as well, but it's hard to believe that we're playing baseball, at least in this part of the world where, again, there's still snow on the ground right now, and obviously that puts you guys back at the Wyco facility for another week, at least this time around.
Well, I would think some of the snow is melting off at Powers as well as out at Pioneer Park too, right?
Yeah, for sure. Today is we got some sunshine and clear skies and starting to get some of that to melt up, so hopefully we can get back outside again today and tomorrow and Friday, and it's been good for us, I think. I mean, we're kind of taking it as a little bit of a reset. We had a 15, 17 games played. Now we'll be off by the next time we play, it'll be 10 days off without playing. So it kind of feels a little bit like, having a spring training schedule, taking a break, getting ourselves organized, cleaning up some of the things that we'd struggled with through our first 17 and making sure we're fully ready to go before we get into this next stretch. Our next stretch is where we'll really start to travel, and we want to make sure all our P's and Q's are taken care of moving forward.
With the field conditions at Powers as well as over at Pioneer Park, and again, with the all-weather turf, it absorbs and it does its job. I mean, you'll be able to at least get some infield in. Outfield's a different story. The snow's going to hang around, and I'm sure the Parks and Rec don't want you going out there making snow angels. But the bottom line is you can get some work outside, even though it's a little bit chilly right now.
Yeah, and that's part of being a Wyoming baseball player is learning how to handle elements, and we've had our fair share of that so far this spring. But the facilities that we have here give us the best possible chance of playing baseball. There's a lot of places like Casper this week, there's just no chance of playing there with the amount of snow that they got. But if you drive over the interstate, check out Pioneer Park. I mean, it's pretty clear right now, and if we had games here today, we probably would have a chance to be able to play them. So we're lucky in that regard. We've got great facilities with the turf. The beads in the turf attract the sun and the heat, and it gets warmer down there. So we have a good setup here in Cheyenne.
Do want to at least ask you, Ty, something that we talked with Adam yesterday regarding the Cheyenne Extreme, where he's understanding or at least noticing with his team that outfielders having a little tough go about it, at least getting reads, especially dealing with the weather, not having the at least availability to play outside and get those scenarios. Obviously, again, you're in the same ballpark dealing with the weather and also too having to practice indoors at Wyco and having those kind of limitations. Have you been noticing that at least throughout those 17 games? We talked a little bit about it, but right now, do we have a feeling that outfielders are having a little bit difficult read dealing with sunshine and clear skies, which has kind of been a rarity so far?
Yeah, definitely. It's funny you say that. That's probably been the thing that we've worked on the most when we have our opportunity to be outside is working with the outfielders and getting some reads. We have struggled in the outfield a little bit, and that's something that we're going to get better at as we get through the spring. And, another thing, an area that it really affects us is, situationally knowing what we're doing, covering the field with different cuts and relays and different types of things that happen on the baseball field that we're just not prepared for quite yet. So the more time that we get outside, we would be further along in that area for sure if we'd had some better weather. But, we're doing it indoors on a chalkboard and going through different situations and things that could happen and making sure we're as mentally prepared as we could possibly be to handle the game.
4 games right now, as of today, lost 3 against the Rapid City squad and, of course, against Casper. Makeups, I know this is not the major leagues. You don't have a makeup date scheduled, but are these games going to be somehow rescheduled?
No, not really. Just the way our schedules are made with the 2 high school teams, there's really not a lot of open dates left moving forward. So if we miss out on something, we're just moving on and going to the next thing. We do have a couple open dates. We may be able to add something in later, but as of right now, we're thinking about just moving forward and getting ready for the next challenge.
Regarding those contests, as we look forward towards state and also too regarding kind of regionals, if Post 6 is able to make it this year, losing out on those games, for instance, again, losing against Casper, not being able to play them, get that contest in, also too the 3 against Rapid City, does that have any long-term effects regarding, state, if we have a tie record with Gillette and yet you had, this many games still remaining on your schedule, seeding for Northwest Regionals? I mean, does this have any long-term effects if you can't make up those games?
No, it really doesn't. Our conference schedule won't start until the middle of June. We'll play Gillette here in doubleheader conference games, and then the rest of the conference games are in July. So this won't affect our seeding or anything like that at the state tournament. What it really does is just affect our process moving forward. And, you lose out 3 really good games against Rapid City that you'd like to have under your belt as far as experience goes, and then you lose out in a game against Casper where we're still trying to get to the feel for each other a little bit. So we do have Casper coming here next week, so we'll still get one more against them before we really get into the travel portion of our schedule, and we're just trying to get as much in and do as much as we can to be prepared as we move forward.
Looking at this weekend, at least, to set up a schedule, potentially, hopefully, again, weekends looking like the weather should be good across the state of Wyoming, but at least for Post 6, we'll be up in Gillette, Wyoming, Saturday and Sunday, and also to Monday as well, too. Saturday doubleheader against Rapid City, those Expo team. Sheridan Troopers. Sunday, we'll see the Casper Oilers in Gillette, and then also, too, the Gillette Rough Riders. And then Monday's lone contest still up in Gillette, taking on the Jackson Giants. So give us a little scenario. Again, you've seen majority of these teams so far, but again, the long layoff, I mean, what's kind of the focus heading into this weekend? Right.
Yeah, for sure. For us, it's like I said, we're taking a little bit of a reset. It's a fresh start for us, 10 days off, and we're gonna lock in on trying to win baseball games. We're gonna be playing a lot of different Wyoming teams again, like we did in late April up at the tournament in Casper. So we're gonna get one more good look at every team in the state. Try to get our scouting reports in order and everything we need to know for the finalizing the season. And we're gonna try to win baseball games and play clean baseball.
Final thought from me is I asked Coach Galicia this yesterday, and you have to deal with it at some level, but next weekend we go through the graduation process with Central Friday, East, and South on Saturday. That does, kind of, I don't want to say mess with your games, so to speak, but again, you have to deal with that. How's that going to affect the ball club?
Yeah, it'll be a busy weekend for sure. We're going to have guys trying to be in a lot of different places, doing a lot of different things. These kids have responsibilities to their family and relatives and friends that come in and to be a part of this. So for us, it's going to have a bigger impact this year. We have 8 seniors, and last year we only had 2. So we're going to have a huge chunk of our team missing. We're going to be playing, one of the best teams in our region, 2 of the best teams in our region with the Billings Scarlets and the Billings Royals. And the Royals were at the regional tournament last year, a team that was in there, and the Scarlets are there quite a bit. So we're going to be playing 2 really good baseball teams, and first day, Saturday, we're going to have to do it without a lot of our seniors. And it's a good opportunity for these younger guys to play some high-level competition and get to travel. Some guys that haven't been on the varsity all year will get to make that trip and see what that's all about. And then hopefully on Sunday we'll have a majority of our seniors driving up and meeting us and trying to fulfill the obligations that they have to Post 6 and that side of it as well.
And my final thought for you, at least, Ty, talking at least, as you mentioned, with the regional tournament, focusing at least in the future of 2020, as it was announced a few days ago, that Gillette, the Rough Riders, or at least Gillette City, will be hosting the Northwest Regional coming up again in 2020. Dates in at least early August. But give us your thoughts on that. Obviously, selfishly, we'd like to have it here in Cheyenne hosting that regional. But again, a field that you are familiar with, you'll be familiar at least in the year 2020 when that is happening. But again, advantage, so to speak, if Post 6 is able to make it to that Northwest Regional, playing there in Gillette, Wyoming.
huge advantage. We're very excited that Gillette was able to get the Northwest Regional there. And, for guys who haven't gone to a Northwest Regional, the transportation trying to get to a place is very difficult. So for us in Wyoming, if they have it in Washington or Oregon, you're taking flights. Flights sometimes are at 3 a.m. You get to the hotel at 5 a.m. Your sleep schedule is off, and you're on a field you've never seen before, playing teams you don't know very well. But having it be in Wyoming, especially Gillette, you're going to have a great facility. It's in a location where we can control our own schedule, so we can drive up and be on our time and tempo. And then you have another Wyoming team in the Northwest Regional, so it adds a team that you're familiar with in the tournament, and just the travel and everything is easier. So we're super excited. Coach Perleberg did an outstanding job, him and his program, putting a bid together and going through that process, which we've done, and we know how difficult that can be. So kudos to him and his program to be able to rein that in and get it into Wyoming, and that gives an advantage to our state a little bit moving forward.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the last team that was able to do the regional was Sheridan, if I'm not mistaken. That was a few years back, right?
Yeah, I think it was us, and then Casper did have it in 2006, I believe, was the year, and then before that was Sheridan. Yeah. So yeah, you're right.
So that's a nice thing too. Again, 3.5-hour drive up to Gillette, or some of us that make it 3.5 hours. Anyway, Coach, we want to thank you so much for joining us. Good luck to you this weekend, and hopefully we'll get all the contests in. Mother Nature kind of back off and give us some baseball weather, please. We're going to take a timeout. We're going to come back. We're going to introduce you to Trey Trimble, who is a part of the Post 6 program and, again, former South High School product. We're back after these words right here in 1480 KRAE.
Are you tired of paying ATM fees? Hi, this is Rick Flood, president of Platte Valley Bank in Cheyenne. Use your Platte Valley Bank ATM or Visa debit card at any ATM anywhere. We won't charge you a fee on our end, and we'll reimburse any fee you incur at any other ATM. That's right, no ATM fees at Platte Valley Bank. How about that? Platte Valley Bank, 3310 North College Drive and 421 Van High Avenue, or pvbank.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You can count on Platte Valley Bank. Community banking for you.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Human history has shown anything is possible with inspiration and hard work. The 4-minute mile, a man on the moon, a water skiing squirrel, and now sirloin steak burritos from Taco John's.
Sirloin steak burritos are back at Taco John's. Stuffed with hand-carved sirloin steak and bold flavors like the melty, savory grilled cheese steak burrito, plus steak and shrimp or steak and potato olays. And for the morning, 2 steak and egg breakfast burritos. Sirloin steak burritos are back, but only for a limited time. Olay the Day at Taco John's.
Right now, it's time to head over to Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service for low prices on outstanding RVs in Wyoming. Your local, exclusive Jayco dealer wants you to check out their closeout deals, as well as their 2019 inventory of trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. You can save up to 30% on select models with approved credit. You can find them at 6102 East Highway 30. Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service is a proud sponsor of LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Capital Lumber is lumber one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need. For electrical, plumbing, paint, and tools, lumber and hardware, we're for you. And we're out to earn your business, yes indeed. Capital Lumber is lumber one today. Are you listening? Capital Lumber's at your service all the way.
Capital Lumber Company serving our area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne. Are you thinking about buying a new water heater? You could spend $1,300 or more on a gas-fired water heater. Or you could spend $0 on a top-of-the-line electric water heater from High West Energy. That's right, $0. High West members can upgrade from gas to electric without spending a penny. Don't you wish all decisions were this easy? Go to highwestenergy.com to learn more or call 307-245-3261. High West Energy, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Back once again on Wyoming Sports Talk today, Larry Proati along with Nick Proati. We bring on our next guest. Now, we know a lot about him. We've had the opportunity over the last couple seasons during his football to call games under Coach Gallus over at Cheyenne South. We're going to talk now with Trey Trimble, who is a senior, going to be graduating, and I know that's going to be a big loss at Cheyenne South. Second year with the varsity here. With the Legion program, you've been playing through this program, I guess, since your 8th grade year. So let's first talk about Cheyenne South. In addition to football, what else did you do over there?
Well, I not really participated, but I competed in basketball for a little bit through my sophomore year. Ended up not playing my junior year, and baseball, football, and basketball has really been where it's at since I was younger. So ever since sophomore year, it's just been football and baseball.
We'll ask you to get a little closer to that mic as well, too, Trey. But at least talk about football as we got to experience a few games, especially this season, of dealing with Cheyenne South, where, again, a lot of injuries happen on that team. But you were kind of asked to be kind of the workhorse for Coach Gallus out there, where just give us a little background of kind of the different positions you ended up having to play this year for the Fighting Bison.
Well, it was definitely a competition from the start. We went to a UNK camp in Nebraska during the summer. I was quarterbacking then because Cade Burns was injured with an arm injury at that time. After that, the season got rolling, and the decision where he would start would be official, and my main focus would be defense at linebacker. As the season progressed, more injuries started occurring. There was problems in the huddle. Not enough leadership is what I've heard from it, and that's when I was placed into the role at quarterback, filled in at fullback a couple times, played tight end, also punted, long snapped at the beginning of the season, just kind of all over the place.
At halftime, went up in the stands, sold some concessions too.
You're doing everything.
The guy is a versatile guy. You're graduating. First off, congratulations on being a senior and graduating here next weekend. School. Where we're going after Cheyenne South?
After I graduate, I intend on going to Pima Community College in Tucson, Arizona. That's going to be great. A lot of connections, really helped me out.
And you're going to do the baseball thing?
Yeah, baseball and academics, yep.
And what are you going to – I know, a lot of times people don't really have a major in mind, but have you thought that out, what you were planning to major in?
So I'm going to go and get my associates in science first. And then after the 2 years, if I stay there for 2 years, I'm going to plan on getting like some type of medical degree in the healthcare.
Have fun with that. At least anticipate years on years of getting that one. That's always so fun. But
baseball.
Yeah, at least for you, Trey. Again, as you got that decision for Pima Community College continuing the baseball career, we're talking that you did play a little basketball, did play a little football as well. What was kind of the decision of at least continuing the baseball career instead of looking at football or any athletics, especially in the next level?
Well, I kind of stepped aside and started to realize to myself that I probably have more opportunity and a little bit more longevity inside of me to continue on in baseball. Less injury prone if you take care of yourself. Football is a little more physical than that. But baseball, I could just see myself excelling in at the highest level rather than any other sport.
On the baseball side, again, you're a pitcher, and injuries can happen there. I mean, like I was telling you off air, freak injury happens to me. But you have been relatively healthy. How do you stay healthy?
A lot of working out. At home, sometimes I just run on the treadmill for fun, keeping in cardio shape. Band exercises that we do every day before we throw. Also, part of the decelerators after we do our accelerators. to make sure that our muscles are properly working after throwing and before throwing.
So as you've been throwing in the early season right now, and I remember asking Coach, he was going to keep an eye on you guys, pitch count wise. Look at yourself right now, and obviously we lost a weekend. I know you probably were ready to, fire the pill this weekend. But let me ask you this: where do you think you're at right now? If Coach says you got the call tomorrow, you think you can do a full game?
Oh, easily. I've been.
You heard that easily.
I could do it. I'm prepared. I'm ready. I'm willing to carry the water as long as I can for the team and do what I need to do to get the job done.
And you throw out of the right side, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Let's talk about the arsenal. What do you bring to the table?
4-seam fastball, 2-seam fastball, curveball, change up, and then I've been trying to develop a slider to throw that into the arsenal.
So adding that at least to, again, the big arsenal that you do have going into the season regarding those pitch, and then also to adding that as well. Was there anything regarding like the 4-seam, 2-seam that you at least talked to a few assistants, if not Ty Lain, of saying, hey, I maybe need to adjust this, or I need a little help in this heading into this season? Was anything on that on your mind in this offseason heading into this season?
Not really. I just knew I needed to keep on repeating and practicing it before making any adjustments or fine-tuning to how I throw it or how I hold it or anything like that, any of the pitches.
So with this season for you, for Cheyenne Post 6, any goals that you had in mind? Any aspirations? I mean, again, possibly at least last year with the Post 6 Sixers, what were kind of your focuses in the offseason heading into this season of what you wanted to get accomplished?
Well, I know from last year our main goal was to stay even keel, not too high, not too low, being consistent. That's personally my goal that I bring to the table for the team, is I want to be as consistent as possible, but also improve and be ready to bring energy to the team and contribute in that way and form.
Trey, you're your own individual, but and I think back in my day, and this is where I age myself, and I know my dad was trying to pattern my pitching after Sandy Koufax. So is there a pitcher that you look up to that the way he throws, the style? Anybody that comes to mind?
It's kind of funny because I really enjoy watching Verlander. Kershaw, and even though they're lefties, I mean, I can pick up a lot of interesting ways that they control their tempo, how they just kind of control the game around them, and that's what I really want to really get good at, to be able to control the game around me.
As we focus.
Well, let me go back on because you mentioned Kershaw, and again, I've had that luxury playing at sea level and coming up here where your curveball does not do what it can do at sea level. Is that a little frustrating for you sometimes, where not so much that it's a flat curveball, but it just doesn't have that 12-6 like it does if you go to sea level?
Kind of like the like breaking at the end. Yeah, sometimes my pitches deliver good. It's just about consistency, arm slot, release point, just all of that. And I mean, if it breaks good, it breaks good, and sometimes it can come in flat.
Are you a full wind-up guy, or do you throw out of the stretch?
I prefer the wind-up, but I will throw out of the stretch. I have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Again, he's dealing with what folks down in Denver have to deal, at least on the pitching side, with the Rockies. But as we talk about players that you kind of look up to, or at least try to emulate your game on, but as we talk to a few other players, we'll get your thoughts on as well. But favorite team in the MLB? We've had, I think, Rockies, Giants, Dodgers, Rangers. You're on the spot, Trey. Who's your MLB team?
I gotta like the Mets. Brandon Nimmo. Yeah, I gotta like him. But I also have some partial towards the Rockies with Arenado and all the great players that are in that program.
Right. Well, we wish you all the best, and again, thank you for joining us again. Your second season with the Sixers, and again, I know Coach Lain looking to you to mow down some innings for him this season.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Trey Trimble joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. We will take a timeout. We'll be back with more after these words here on 1480 KRAE.
Cheyenne's oldest coin dealer and supplier, The Coin Shop, is proud to serve the community since 1982. Trade or sell your gold, silver, and other precious metals. Visit with David and the knowledgeable staff for a fair and honest assessment of your valuables. Located at 510 West Lincoln Way. Call them today at 778-7196 to schedule your personal consultation.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range. Your locally owned and operated radio stations KYOI-FM and 1480 KRAE AM are just that, local, serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 KRAE. First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Our Super Radio buys include Jose Cuervo Golden or Strawberry Golden Margarita, 1.75-liter bottle, $15.99. Jim Beam Bourbon, 1.75-liter bottle, $23.99. And Tecate or Tecate Light, 12-pack, 12-ounce cans, $11.49. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with highs around 40. The tonight will be mostly cloudy with a slight chance of snow showers with lows around 31. On Thursday, it'll be cloudy with rain showers likely with highs around 40. And on Thursday night, it'll be partly cloudy with rain showers likely with lows around 29.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Wyoming Sports Talk Today. You know, something that we didn't discuss as we have been sitting here, you know, beating the tom-tom of the Warriors. And again, first I want to say thank you to both Coach Lain, Sixers head coach, and to Trey Trimble. I never caught Trey throwing in the games that I went to last year. I want to definitely catch him. This guy looks like he can bring the pill and throw that rock hard.
Well, that tells me that you need to go out to more post-6 games.
I know. Well, if I'm not tired and if I'm not running around doing
I don't want to
stuff,
hear excuses.
No, there's all...
You're on the same plane as the rest of the city of Cheyenne right now.
I actually work.
I don't want to hear the excuses.
I work for a living. You might want to try that.
I do too. I brought you all.
All right. Anyway, let's go back
just
to
like that.
As I was going to discuss with the Warriors, and not so much that it hit me last night, but I'm watching Game 4 between Toronto and Milwaukee last night, and I'm thinking, the winner of this series is going to be the host of the NBA championship.
There you go. Yeah, because they have the better records, at least compared to the Golden State Warriors. But, again, not a big deal. Golden State is still the best. Still is the best team.
I was not impressed. And I really watched it more last night to, kind of put into my mind what the Warriors do. Especially, they are the best transition team around. But you sit there and you were watching that game last night, and yes, Milwaukee is big. Yes, Milwaukee is strong. I will give them that. They are going to be bigger than the Warriors. Again, KD kind of balances the scales a little bit. If Boogie comes back, yes, he'll definitely balance the scales. But with Toronto, I mean, this was the first time they got some bench support.
Yeah. They get the bench support.
I was not impressed with neither team last night to watch them. Am I being too cruel on that?
I think again, obviously with Toronto winning, they were clearly the better team. Again,
they shot okay.
Again, getting it done at home, where in the NBA you're expected to get it done at home, even with the playoffs of just how they operate. Again, it was an 18-point win for the Toronto Raptors. I think if you want to say it wasn't impressive, yeah, it's not as impressive of what we've seen Toronto in the earlier rounds. It's not as impressive of a Milwaukee team of what we saw in earlier rounds, but this is going to be a drag-out, just brawl between these two that should go 7 games, where determining factor is going to be in Milwaukee with them being the higher seed. Right now, in my opinion, with Golden State now sitting and waiting for these two to figure things out and who's going to move on to the NBA Finals, either way, they're just cannon fodder for this Warriors team. You bring up the question of kind of pick your poison for the Golden State Warriors, of which team would you rather have them face, or at least would have the better, easier route to the NBA championship.
Maybe Toronto.
I would say probably Milwaukee right now.
Wow, okay. So
I honestly, I think with Milwaukee, again, it is a fresh-faced team, a young team that is not at least used to where it is right now in its winning nature. I would say Milwaukee is probably the easiest route. But either way, though, again, in my opinion, Golden State, I don't see him having a tough time against either team.
I'm just saying,
especially
with Milwaukee, they try to bully you, so to speak, but I don't think the Warriors will have any of it.
No.
And again, their outside shooting, it's nothing to write home about. Again, this is the team with the best record in the NBA, and I watched. This is the first time that
I break it down as they're 60-22, a team that is best in the East,
and the East is not good.
Yeah, I think where you have these two teams right now who will either one will move on. Again, will host the NBA Finals, get the home at least court advantage. They're only getting that because, they are beating up the likes of a Knicks team, of beating up, again, a terrible Southeast division with Miami, where your division winner Orlando was the 7 seed. Again, Milwaukee, Toronto, they got to take advantage of these just weak Eastern Conference teams that we know about, where, again, the East has been a joke for however many years. Where, again, it was LeBron-dominated team and everyone else get behind them.
Well, and Toronto's been trying. And
Toronto is not on the level that they're going to beat Golden State.
No, I understand that, but Toronto has tried over the last 3-4 years to get to the level of LeBron's Cleveland Cavaliers. Couldn't do it.
They're not at that level now.
This season, are they better than the Bucks? Right now, I see this as a draw, and obviously the series says the same thing. 2 up, 2 down for both teams.
I give Milwaukee the only advantage of
because they're home.
Yeah, the home, at least for the final 2, or at least 2 out of the 3, they're going to be at home there in Milwaukee. So I give them that slight advantage, where I would say in Game 7 they should get it done at home. If this does go to 7 games, which I wholeheartedly believe it should and it will, but that's about it. Either way, Milwaukee or Toronto, you're pretty much. You're a minor speed bump in the route right now for the Golden State Warriors to get another championship. Neither team right now, especially what we're seeing in this battle of the Eastern Conference Final, nothing is really proven to me that they can slow them down.
And for those that hate on the Warriors, that's fine. You go ahead and hate on the Warriors, but to be real honest, like I said, I sat there and as a, I don't want to use the word talking head, but watching it last night and just watching these two teams really for 4 quarters, I was not impressed. And I'm thinking, and again,
if anything, I am impressed of the bench for Toronto. Again, picking things up, that might be a slight advantage if bench play could be consistent, but obviously it has not been for the Toronto Raptors. But if it could find some sort of consistency, they are a dangerous threat when they're putting up 120 points in a game. Granted, Warriors absolutely could match that, if not surpass that.
But you got on the starting side, after Leonard and Gasol, it's not all that earth-shaking. You know what I mean?
Well, Kyle Lowry, again, he put up 25 points, absolutely. Again, off the bench, Serge Ibaka, again, a former big name, where at least Toronto picked him up. Again, he is a big entity off of the bench. But other than that, though, again, Toronto, Milwaukee, either way, though, neither team is going to put up a fantastic fight against the Golden State
I'm not
Warriors.
going to say the series is going to go 4 in favor of the Warriors. Does it go 5? Does it go 6? Don't know, because again, they got to start on the road. But the Warriors are, quote, road warriors. So whoever wins this series right now, they're going to have their hands full. And if the Warriors get the 3 pieces, including Iguodala, which he will be back before any of the other 2.
Yeah.
I tell you what, and again, it's like the Warriors during the regular season, except for the year that they set the record. It's almost like they cruise. They know what they've got in the West. They cruise through the West. And when they need to pick it up, they pick it up. But when they go into the playoff mode, they turn into another beast.
Well, that's what you want. I mean, of any great team, that's what you want. I mean, look at at least within the Bay Area, you look at another entity that has won championships in the 2010s, and that would be the San Francisco Giants, where, again, a wild card team that just slid through at least baseball season, got enough to get in. They were the team that was on the outside, or at least not really favored in 2010, 2012, and 2014. Again, where you want to play your best ball. It's kind of like what we talked with head coach Jason Ficca, where we were talking this past season where he wants his team to be, or at least what his focus was. It's that final month, those final games,
February,
and heading into the playoffs, where you want this team to be at its peak, playing its best ball. Golden State's done that. It's the reason why they've gone 5 straight NBA Finals. That has proven enough where, you can cruise, so to speak, throughout the West. The record doesn't really matter. The seeding clearly doesn't matter to the Golden State Warriors. Again, they they got the 1 seed. Last year, the 2 seed, they still won the championship. It really doesn't matter to this team as long as they get to the playoffs and then elevate that game, elevate that process in the playoffs to the point where, okay, now we really play. Here's where we put it all on the line, and it gets us to the promised land. And it's done it again.
So if you happen to watch, if anybody even cares, if you happen to watch Game 5, 6, or 7, because this will go 7 between Milwaukee and the Toronto Raptors, and the thing is too, both these teams are going to come out of this thing. They're going to be scarred. They're going to be worn out. You already can see
the one team, at least again, if this is pushing 7, which it probably will. The one team that it hurts the most is going to be Toronto.
Yeah,
coming off a back-to-back
with
7, where
Leonard,
again you were battling with Philadelphia. Again, where in that Game 7 you had to hit a crucial 2, at least buzzer beater by Kawhi Leonard to win that contest. You almost lost that contest and lost that series to the Philadelphia 76ers. And who knows what's going to happen in this series if it does push to 7. But if Toronto, for instance, if they get this to Game 7 and advance on in some way, getting past that Game 7 against the Milwaukee Bucks, it hurts Toronto more than anything, where that team's going to be probably gassed.
Right.
Again, what we saw with Portland of going through those battles, I think if you do have a Toronto-Golden State matchup after Toronto goes 7, that just spells even more disaster for the Raptors.
Even last night for Milwaukee, the big guys looked pretty gassed as well. That's only the 4th game.
Again,
they're
fresh faces. This is new to the Milwaukee Bucks and what they've done this season and what they're doing in the playoffs. This is new, so kind of a similar situation what we saw with the Denver Nuggets of, hey, we got to climb some hills. We are getting those legs adjusted. It's, again, to paint some parallel, you focus here in town with LCCC. You had a lot of freshmen that were used to going the distance compared to the high school ranks. Well, now here we are in elevated time, and we found out that, yes, they got exhausted. They got a little winded, and it was a bit tiring to continue on late into the season. And you wonder, especially watching last night and how the rest of the series goes, if not continuing on in the playoffs for Milwaukee, that, some of these fresh faces are going to be a little gassed out, that they're going to kind of at least trend downwards from what they've been doing.
Well, one of the things that this will be classed, I guess I would classify it, either Toronto or Milwaukee, it will be basically David versus Goliath. And the Warriors are Goliath. Now, if they're able to chop down the Warriors, hey, good for them.
I think that would be
I just don't see that
happening. If that were to happen, I think it would be, especially for Milwaukee, if they are to compete with Golden State and for whatever reason make it and win that NBA championship, I would say that'd probably be probably at the top of one of the biggest, at least, upsets of all time. And probably of all, at least, professional sports. Because Golden State, I would not doubt, going to Vegas and looking at the sports books, right now, Golden State, even with, we're still trying to figure out who they're going to face, have got to be overwhelming favorites right now. Without a doubt.
Oh, yeah. There's you would think, if anything, the money right now out of Vegas, they can't give away whoever's going to be taking on the Warriors.
Yeah.
They can't give it away.
So that's why I would think, especially from Milwaukee, a fresh-faced team, to get to that point, if they did and upset Golden State, it would be extremely shocking. Because I don't think they have enough to get past this Golden State team. I don't think Toronto does either, but Toronto is built themselves into the playoffs. They've gotten into some consistency, and some players that have been here done it, and had that opportunity. Milwaukee, though, would be that big upset and big shocking moment if they are to, especially where we're talking that KD could return, DeMarcus Cousins could be a factor, a healthy Andre Iguodala to be a part of the Golden State team. Yeah, that would surprise the hell out of me.
I was watching this last night, and I'm glad the story broke today too, concerning the game. Have you seen? And they showed him, and for a while we were asking, who is this clown? Drake, the rapper.
All right.
And he's clearly,
he's world famous, so again, I don't know why you're asking who he is.
Yeah, I've never seen him. I don't care who he is. But anyway, he's been clearly enjoying Giannis' struggles during the finals, but the superstar rapper's antics are starting to rub people the wrong way.
But again,
he bought a seat. He didn't buy the sideline. Okay?
But those antics of what he has done, especially in Toronto, are kind of synonymous. He's been known to do that. I wouldn't doubt that, maybe officials are going to have some, at least, thoughts on it or try to put a kibosh on it. Who knows at this point in time, but it is nothing new. Well, again, if you follow the Toronto Raptors and what Drake does and being a part of those sidelines, his antics are nothing unique. This is kind of commonplace right now.
And that's cool that you get these type of seats. But again,
I do have a slight issue where, again, you see him walk up and down those sidelines.
I have a major problem with that.
Yeah, I think that. Again,
that's for coaches, not for fans.
Yeah, not for fans, not even multimillionaires or billionaires, whoever may be on those sidelines. Again, you bought a seat, you're sitting down, you're not allowed to be at least roaming up and down the court.
You can stand up and cheer, you can go to the can, you can do what you
want. As long as you're in your kind of designated area. And again, I don't think, hey, you get an entire section to roam up and down. You can trash talk and do whatever from your seat, but I don't think you have that real estate to at least be roaming on the court like Drake does. Like I said, this is something that has been happening in the NBA, at least with Toronto. It happens with other teams as well, with other kind of big names. With the Lakers, they've had some incidents. New York Knicks as well.
They had back in Chicago years ago. There was a doctor who would sit a row or two behind. I don't know if he was, or maybe he was out of New York. I can't remember one, but he was always harassing the visiting team, and the guys. Like on the bench, they took it. They understood what was going on.
As a fan and being a part of that, you buy a ticket, you have that right to do that in a respectful constraint, as long as you're not, spouting out slurs or anything kind of nasty towards players.
But they were sitting in a seat.
But if you're having fun and ribbing these players or taunting him in a kind of respectful manner, so to speak, I get it. But, yeah, again, they're in their designated seat. They're in their designated area. They're not taking up an entire sideline where, come on now. Even though we know who you are, we know that you're not going to be a threat to go out on the court or do anything wacky, Drake. It's still hey, you still need to follow some guidelines, some limitations.
Well, that's on Toronto.
And be in your seat.
That's on Toronto. Yeah. And they have not.
Like I said, this is nothing new.
Oh, but it is news now. It is news because...
No, I'm not saying news. I'm just saying it's
but it
new.
is news, and Game 6 will come back, and I guarantee you he's not going to be able to roam free anymore because the NBA...
If Milwaukee goes and says, hey, NBA, we're having an issue with this, address it, make sure that he's sitting down, I would assume Adam Silver in that it would talk with the Toronto Raptors and say, hey, you got to keep a close eye and tell every fan that's at least attending up there in Toronto that they don't have these extra, opportunities or
I mean, the guy was trolling Giannis last night. I mean, come on, give me a break. And it really, I thought it was disrespectful. So, as I look at it this way, and again, I see it here today with the, the talking heads, the Stephen A's and the Will Bonds, it's being brought to light. So if it's being brought to light this way, it's going to get back to Adam Silver.
Oh, yeah.
And Drake is going to have to sit his little hiney in the seat. Because you know what? When he's doing a concert, we can't do that stuff while he has a concert going on. We get thrown out.
Yeah.
And again, the sideline.
Well, I would assume so. I've never been to a Drake concert. So
Nor will I ever go to a Drake concert. But I'm just saying,
for you.
The sideline is for the coaches. See, this makes me a little mad with the Toronto coach. Obviously he doesn't have any cojones, because he would be telling the guy, get off my sideline.
But he's a fan of your team, so again,
I don't care.
He's going to be that sixth man.
I have a job to do. I'm going to go back and forth on the sidelines throughout the course of the game.
Okay, so again, head coach of the Toronto Raptors, where hey, this is a loyal fan of our team. He is going after the opposing team.
Seat?
Let me finish. Again, where Drake is helping out your team, being that sixth man audience member to at least get into the minds of the Milwaukee Bucks or whatever team that's there in attendance in Toronto. Again, me as a head coach, I'm going to allow it. Especially where refs are not saying, hey, you got a bench warning because of this fan, or we're going to put a technical foul because of this fan doing whatever. Again, where refs have not addressed it, it has not been an issue regarding, at least towards the game. It has not affected the Toronto Raptors in a negative light, other than being in a news article. Again, if I'm the head coach of Toronto, I allow it because it is not doing any harm to my team. Right?
Again,
right?
he's on the sideline. He's in a place where he should not be.
No, absolutely. And you would assume in Game 6 that maybe NBA addresses this, but who knows? Who really knows? Will Adam Silver get back to the Toronto Raptors and that organization and say, hey, you got to take care of this? Or is it going to go off for deaf ears?
He's more worried about his bromance with LeBron. He's not going to worry about this at all. But, I just think back of all of the weird things that we've seen through the years in basketball, but I have never seen a fan actually have that luxury, and that's a luxury to me, to go back and forth on the sidelines, in front of the scorekeeper, in front of the radio broadcasters, the TV guys. And if I'd have known it, when I first saw him, I thought he was the owner of the team. I had no clue who he was. And I thought, what the hell's this?
Well, that's because you don't have the pulse on pop culture or what's happened recently. But either way, though, the freedom that Drake does have on that court, I understand it. I get it because, again, he is that Toronto super fan. He is also, too, he's been involved with NBA events. He's competed, at least around the NBA All-Star weekend, if not performed, I do believe as well. But again, he's kind of that ambassador for the game, for the NBA, at least on a celebrity side of things. So I get why he has the freedom, but does he deserve that freedom, or should he have that freedom? I don't really think so.
He's no different.
But he's getting away with it.
He's no different than me and you sitting on the last two seats up there in the Scotiabank Arena, or the guy that paid $300 to sit a section below us. He pays, I don't care how much he pays, he does not deserve to walk the sideline.
This is getting into a whole different conversation because, again, he is celebrity status. Well, I'm just saying, guess what? Those celebrities, those sports athletes, whoever, again, where you got that big money and, again, you are recognized in at least across the world, if not the nation, whatever it may be. Again, you get away with more stuff than the average person.
I've seen in my years, whether I've done a public address announcing at UW or I've seen in NBA games, where a coach has stood up, walked on the sidelines, folded his arms like this, and got a technical for staring at the ref.
All right.
This guy he's marching back and forth at will.
Guess what? Again, refs have not addressed it.
It
does not cost Toronto anything. So, again, is Toronto going to do anything about it?
Probably not.
Why would they? Because, again, it is not hurting their team.
So you're basically saying I'm just blowing out hot air here and nobody cares.
Clearly, like I said, it's right now up to the NBA. It is up to that officiating crew there in Toronto to address that. Where, say, again, basically man up and go, okay, I don't like you cruising up and down. You're not a part of this team. You're not a part of this game right now. Go back to your seat. Again, you can give them a warning, give them a bench warning, give them that technical if you really want to. But, right now, NBA, Toronto, the officiating crew has not done that. So, again, more power to you, Drake, because you're getting allowed to do it.
All right. Well, we got to move into the second hour because, like I said, it just really ticked me off watching that last night. It's like, who the hell are you? I actually thought it was an injured reserve player.
He's a world-renowned, at least, rap artist. That's who he is.
Hey,
and again, he has that celebrity status.
Guess what? On my radio station across the way there, KYY, do you hear rap? Oh, that's right. You hear Will Smith. That's it. Case closed. Hit to the.
What was the point of that?
The point is, I don't play rap. Don't care about rap. I don't know anything about Drake. All I know is he bought a ticket to a seat. Sit in the damn seat.
I doubt he even bought it. He probably.
All right, well, stand up, sit down, and yell and have fun, but don't be walking on the sideline ever again. That's what I would say.
Yeah, he's going to listen to you.
I know. I wish I was a commissioner. He would be dismissed from that seat.
The NBA would probably burn in flames if you were the commissioner.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Well, I wouldn't be having a bromance with LeBron James, that's for sure. All right, let's go. Hour number 2.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And hour number 2 being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne, where they are serving up their delicious sirloin steak burrito for 3 squares. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're doing that 7 days a week for a limited time only. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service over on Highway 30, your exclusive home for Jayco RVs, fifth wheels, and travel trailers. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, reminding you they will come and cater your graduation parties or anniversary parties, whatever party you got going on, even a business meeting. Chick-fil-A will be there. Go to CheyenneChicken.com. Served up 3 squares Monday through Saturday. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way, where, again, the big news this year is the 2019 Telluride. What a good-looking SUV. Kia of Cheyenne knocks it out of the park once again. Check out their lot over on Nation Way, and you will be extremely pleased with your new car from Kia of Cheyenne. Platte Valley Bank, banking done the old-fashioned way, customer service. Hey, you know what? You walk in, they got some wonderful folks taking care of you. Done the high-technology way, the way Nick likes to do it, and then everything in between. Oh, by the way, speaking of in between, maybe you're looking for a new home loan, new auto loan, a remodel loan, a HELOC. They do that for you over at Platte Valley Bank on Vanda High and at the corner of College and Pershing in Cheyenne. Medicap Pharmacy. For all your pharmaceutical needs, open Monday through Saturday. Check them out over on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Red House. Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center in our area, serving our friends for a quarter century, and the tradition continues on. Lennox Auto Body, Lennox Enterprises of Cheyenne. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday, again offering on a 27-month CD at annual percentage yield of 3.1%. Mondello's Pizzeria, serving up pie, and we're talking pizza pie, stromboli, calzones, delicious sandwiches, and they're doing that for you 7 days a week. If you have not had a Mondello's sandwich, and again, I can throw my favorite out there, the salami and provolone. They do their meatball parmesan. It's on their fresh baked bread. And again, everything's fresh. It's always delicious. Trust me, you're going to enjoy your stay over at Mondello's Pizzeria in Cheyenne at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. On the job 24/7. In case something goes awry, you want to get a hold of our friends over at Mars Plumbing Heating. Their reputation speaks for themselves here in Cheyenne. Been around for a long, long time. They get the job done right the first time. Again, You need them, they're there 24/7. Mars Plumbing Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue. Scoreboard time. It is being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. There it is, Pepsi right there. And we go to Nick with the scoreboard, which is going to be probably very light.
I love how you describe, especially where we are kind of a radio entity for, again,
I'm
audio.
talking about right there.
Okay, for those who are not at least watching with us, again, whether they're on 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, or listening online
I'm
at
sorry for our
1480
radio folks. This one was for the YouTubers and for the Periscope via Twitter.
You're an idiot. Either way, though, at least on the local side for baseball, unfortunately, there was a game set for today up in Casper between Post 6 and the Casper Oilers. Unfortunately, it has been canceled, obviously, with Post 6 being in studio due to the weather and conditions up there in Casper. So, and also, too, regarding NHL action for tonight, there is none due to the fact that St. Louis has moved on, and it will be the St. Louis Blues taking on the Boston Bruins. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals happening this Monday. So, at least hockey-wise, there is one game happening at least tonight. This is in San Diego, California at the Pechanga Arena in San Diego. The San Diego Gulls are hosting the Chicago Wolves in the Western Conference Final of the Calder Cup. Again, in the American Hockey League, where that series is tied up 1-1. So that's what's happening in at least hockey, at least around the nation. That means it's you.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to get done blabbing there.
It's kind of like you.
Major League Baseball. You know, people understand what I'm talking about. You? Nobody can figure it out. They need like an interpreter.
Sure.
Bottom of the 7th inning right now. Padres leading the Diamondbacks. They just completed 7, so they'll move to the top of the 8th. It's the Padres leading 5-1 at Petco against the D-backs. Finals in the books. Brewers win today at Miller Park 11-9 over the Cincinnati Reds. Swinging A's with a 7-2 win at Cleveland against the Tribe at Progressive Field. It was the Royals defeating the Cardinals game 1 of their day-night double dip at St. Louis. Another final in from an earlier game. It was the Rangers at Globe Life with a 2-1 win over the Seattle Mariners. 5:05 games will have the Rocks and the Pirates. They will hook up at PNC. John Gray will get the call for Bud Black. He is 3-4 in the season, 4.73 earned run average. It will be the Yankees and the Orioles at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Bo Sox and the Blue Jays in the Rogers Center. Dodgers and the Rays at the Trop. Marlins and the Motor City Kitties at Comerica in Detroit. Nats and the Mets at Citi Field. 5:45 will be Game 2 between the Royals and the Cardinals at Busch. It will be the Phils and the Cubs at Wrigley. 6:05 for this evening. Let's see what else we got here. Astros hosting the White Sox. That will be at 6:10 at Minute Maid. If I'm delaying a little bit here, I'm just looking at the temperatures, game time temperatures. 88 right now in Houston. 7 o'clock game, we'll have the Twins and the Angels at Angel Stadium, Anaheim. Bravos and the Giants in San Francisco at Oracle, as that will get underway at 7:45. It's 66 degrees here. I would take that right now. No basketball for this evening, as the East Conference Finals, the only thing left on the slate before the NBA Championship, and Toronto last night drawing even with the Milwaukee Bucks, 2 games apiece. Game 5 on tap for tomorrow in the Fiserv Forum. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I normally have a nice cold bottle of Mountain Dew in me, but at the moment, I'm empty. That's right, no Mountain Dew. Nothing in here but a couple of quarters and a dime. A fully capable cup holder like me just carrying your loose change, it's embarrassing. Look, I'm not made for loose change. I'm round like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Glistening, cold, and delicious. I'm made to keep Mountain Dew within reach at all times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand. So find a store already, grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs, and put that loose change back in your pocket. Mountain Dew. Do the do.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
If you're looking for fun and adventure, Kia of Cheyenne is the place to start, and the 2019 Kia Sorento will help you find it. I'm AJ Miller, and the 2019 Kia Sorento will give you what you need to make things happen. This vehicle has plenty of power, all-season traction, safety features, technology, and comfort for any road you're on. Kia Sorento offers plenty of standard features for the money, and we're all about saving you money. Come in, call 775-0123, or go to KiaofCheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY FM, and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures, makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with highs around 40. The tonight will be mostly cloudy with a slight chance of snow showers with lows around 31. On Thursday, it'll be cloudy with rain showers likely with highs around 40. And on Thursday night, it'll be partly cloudy with rain showers likely with lows around 29.
Here, the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today, hour number 2. We're going to get Paul Hartigan on, the head coach at Cheyenne East. He is the golf coach there, and one of the nice things I remember seeing on my Facebook page was the golfers and all holding up the number 4. So as we get you close to the mic there, Paul, first off, congratulations on the ever-lovely 4-peat.
Thanks. Yeah, it was pretty special. I don't know if we've I don't know how many conference titles East has. I know they have the banner up in the gym, but I'm not exactly sure how many, but it's 4 in a row for us, which is pretty sweet. Yeah.
You know, and one thing in your time at Cheyenne East, and again too, and this is not taking anything away from Mike and the job that he's done over at Cheyenne Central, because he's got a lot of banners over there from the golf program at Cheyenne Central, but you were really blessed with a good group of kids during this 4-peat. I mean, you know, Blake Danny, will just throw him out in one breath right now. But again, this is a good group of kids where when you looked at the final numbers after 2 rounds, these guys are, you know, top 10ers. I mean, this is a pretty good group.
Yeah, they were. In our conference and pretty much every tournament we played this spring, we were pretty fortunate to, if we didn't have 3 or more kids out of our 5 kids that we played that were always top 5 in it, which is really, it's pretty cool. And yeah, they are definitely a special group of kids, and we're only losing 2 of them, which is a good thing. So we are fortunately going to bring back 3 of our 5 from a team that was pretty good.
What do you attribute the success to? I mean, again, if Nick and me are on your golf team, you know, we're going to go out and play 18 holes, but there's more to it, right?
Yeah, I think there is a little bit. I think the competition that our program is, the kids that we have in our program right now. I mean, you know, I think a lot of them, we're getting the more country club kids that play at the Cheyenne Country Club, that practice there, go through their junior program, which is a great program. That some of those kids have come over to East High School, where in the past I think it was they happened to be a Central kid or something like that. So so we have more and more kids from the country club, which, like I say, is that program just produces some good players, and just the competition in our team. I mean, we were told sometimes at conference we only get to take 5 guys, and we were told this year that we would only get to take 5. And one of the great things about having conference in Gillette was that that's where our state is next year. So these kids are getting a chance to see the course 2 times before they actually get to play it next year for state. But we have 9, 10, 11 kids that were competing for those 5 spots. We were fortunately enough, we got to take 7 to conference instead of just 5. So we were able to take a few extra kids on the bus just to get to see the course. We took underclassmen, of course, and we had some good underclassmen that qualified as our 6 and 7 men, and we took them instead. So just the competition of our team. They go out there and compete every night against each other, and when they're qualifying, it's if you're not at Prairie View shooting 40 or below, a lot of the times you're not going to make our traveling team right now, which is it's pretty cool.
As we're talking about, especially there at Cheyenne East under you, Paul, again, kind of establishing a little bit of a dynasty here in the city of Cheyenne, talking about how you're getting these players coming over to join the East High Thunderbirds and be a part of this golf, at least team. Talk about kind of the next level, obviously, for head coaching in the high school ranks here in the state of Wyoming, or at least across the nation. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that next goal is to push these student athletes to that next level and continue at least in their athletics. But with this kind of establishment right now at Cheyenne East, has that kind of brought a little bit more extra eyes to over at East from, for instance, University of Wyoming, or down with CSU, Northern Colorado, kind of the local kind of D1, D2 NCAA programs? Has that brought a little extra eyes here to the city of Cheyenne?
I would hope that it has. I'm not honestly sure that it has. Again, I just think golf, it's just around the nation right now. Right now on the Golf Channel, the NCAA men's and women's golf championships going on, and I sat there just glued to my TV last night watching these college girls play golf, and it's so talking about competition, just the competition. And they say, and I really still think it's true, the scholarships are out there for these high school kids, especially on the girls' side. And so, I just think that. I do think that it probably, our program is brought into light a little bit more, without a doubt. We're producing some pretty good players. We've had, I think over the past, I don't know, I'd say 5 to 10 years, I think we've probably had 10 kids that have gone on to compete at college golf. So I do think that it is opening it up, for sure.
And also, too, and we tip our cap to the youngsters up in Casper. That's a pretty good program. It's been a solid program for years. Gillette's starting to kick it into gear with the golf program. But you as a coach, and again, and this, I don't want you to take this the wrong way. I think of a Chad Goff who's got a playbook and he's ready to, call a play on the sidelines, and you've got Rusty Horsley who's going to send in Nick to, run the motion offense. You as a coach on the golf side, and then I'm thinking about when I watch the pros play. Are you there as far as that coach is concerned, saying, "Hey, you got 165 yards. Let's lay up. Let's do an 8 iron instead of a 9." So I mean, what is your actual role when you're out there with these young men and women too?
Sure. We used to not. Believe this or not, we used to not be able to have the ability to do that. As high school coaches in Wyoming, we'd fill out the scorecards for our kids, hand them their scorecards, get them out there on the course. Sometimes we'd shuttle them out on golf carts, and then the coaches would go play. And 4A coaches now can't do that anymore. For our 4A, just in the state of Wyoming, the 4A coaches have been given the opportunity to go out there and do some of the coaching that you're just talking about. So yeah, it's gotten to that point where more and more coaches are following kids, especially at state. You see it more in the state and the conference, where the coaches are always out there watching and following, but they're also, we've become a little bit, to a certain degree, we've become a little bit like caddies sometimes too.
So you are an advisor.
We are an advisor.
Let me ask you this question too. I see this in the pro game where they will get a booklet and look at all 18 holes and, the different shots or different angles. Do they offer that at our high school matches when we're there? Do you actually put out a booklet for the young men?
A lot of courses, and some of the better courses, I'd say, around the state and around the nation, I guess, you can buy yardage booklets that they don't really have the contours of the green, which more and more of those booklets that these pros and the good college players are carrying have green makeups of the greens, the tilts and slopes of the greens and stuff like that. So no, we don't really have stuff like that, but we have a player, Blake Danny, who we played state in Cheyenne last year, so it was a little bit different because it's kind of it's not his home course, but it's like his home course. But the year before, when we were over in Evanston, we went and played a practice round, and after every hole and standing on the green, Blake was making his own little green book, and him doing it and passing it along to other players from our team and just other kids, younger kids, seeing what he's doing, I think will definitely help us. But for the most part, I think that most of those caddies and players out there are putting them together. And in college, it would be the team and the coaches putting it together, and they are out there to buy, I think, as well.
Right.
Not in Wyoming so much. So
as we're talking about Cheyenne East getting that conference win again, 4 straight at least years for Cheyenne East under you, Paul. But here we are, kind of a bit in the off season, dealing with the weather that is here in at least city of Cheyenne, if not the state of Wyoming. But I mean, you just kind of walk us in these next couple of months of as we prepare for fall golf and eventually that state tournament for Cheyenne East. What does the off season look like for your athletes? Is it something encouraging of just going, hey, just get as many holes as you can at Prairie View or at the airport, trying to, at least if they have the availability, to get to other golf courses around kind of the region? I mean, and also to strength and training, getting into the weight room. I mean, what does the off season look like for a golf athlete under your program?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's a really good question. And as a matter of fact, I just got something from the Wyoming State Golf Association asking me as a high school coach to make sure my kids know what the state has to offer them, because the state of Wyoming has, not only does it have a junior golf program, Wyoming State Junior Golf Tour, it also has just the Wyoming State Golf Association, WSGA I think is what it is, where and it just so happens this year that I believe the state am is in Laramie, and the state match play, state am's in Laramie, state match plays in Cheyenne at the country club. So those are two opportunities where we're driving 40 miles back and forth, where hopefully I know I'm going to have kids that not only have graduated. I know Blake will probably play in both of those tournaments, but I'm positive Michael Pope will play in a couple of those tournaments, and hopefully a few of our other kids, because it's a great deal too. You're getting to play some quality courses for 3 rounds of golf for like $125, so it's a great deal. So yeah, there's definitely opportunities out there for them through the state of Wyoming, and a lot of them, like say some of them, I know Blake played on the Rocky Mountain Junior Golf Tour last year, which is mainly down in Colorado. So, and we have some kids that do that as well too. So
we're talking with Paul Hartigan, East High head coach for golf, and again talking about a very special feat that happened, a four-peat for his golfers. Paul, we think of all of the, and matter of fact, you and me and Nick were talking off air, and Nick had mentioned, the big sports, the football, the basketballs, the volleyballs. You're in a situation where you have less bodies, so you obviously have less of a budget as far as when budgets are handed out for golf. Tell us a little bit what you do with that type of budget. Obviously, you have a very good working relationship with Prairie View, where you can get out there and the kids can go out there and work anytime they need to work. But again, you are limited in dollars and cents when you have your teams going to Gillette, for example.
Sure, we are. However, like I said to you, East High School does a really good job of providing our golf team the opportunity to pretty much play in the state of Wyoming, and we actually do some Nebraska golf events too. We play in Scottsbluff and Gering over there, so it's pretty nice to have the support that we have from East High School. There's no doubt about it. We also have during the summer we run a 3-day junior camp to supplement our funds that help us pay for range balls when we go to other cities, or other courses, I should say. We pay for the range balls. We buy them golf balls so they don't have to. I think golf is a very expensive sport, and especially if you're losing Pro V1s every hole, you know what I'm saying? And, $4 a ball. And
Yeah.
we're giving them 3 every time they go out and play. And hopefully they're making it around with those 3 Pro V1s.
Raise our hands if we've
TP5.
knocked the ball in Kiwanis Lake a few times.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we have our junior golf clinic. It's June 18th, 19th, and 20th this year at Prairie View. And last but not least, I guess, speaking of Prairie View, like you said, the city of Cheyenne, just fortunately for us in Cheyenne, our golf programs, South High gets to practice out at F.E. Warren. Our airport hosts the Cheyenne Central team with Coach Lepore out there. And then we go to Prairie View. And, Mike Lepore and Lou Lepore, the people that run the airport and the Prairie View Golf Course, treat the East High golf team golden. We have the opportunity to go out there and hit range balls during our time. And a lot of the times, if a kid goes out there on the weekend, they'll ask them to bring buckets. They might give them a small bucket of balls or a big bucket of balls and ask them to bring all the empty buckets back in, or give them a bucket and they can go pick their own up. So we're pretty fortunate.
Do the kids, and I don't mean to interrupt you, Nick, but do the kids get golf balls from Cheyenne East, or are they expected to supply clubs, balls, whatever?
That is pretty much up to the parents. Now, when it comes to, like I say, if you make a varsity golf team here at East High School, we always give them an East High bag. They're kept up. We purchase those maybe every 2 or 3 years. We get new bags. We always have nice Adidas polos, something similar to what I'm wearing here or something. We have, when we give them golf balls. We give them a rain jacket. So we're pretty as you can understand and hear me say, we're pretty fortunate to have the support that we have, and we do. We sometimes will, with our supplemented budget that when we do our junior program, we make $1,000 during the summer, and we will buy balls for the kids and stuff like that. Right. So not everything that we get given to us, we do have to do some fundraising ourselves to help supplement some of that budget.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Hopefully not putting you on the spot with this, but to expand a little bit about that junior camp coming up in the summer, as you mentioned in June, just kind of expand upon if folks are interested in sitting there, at least youngsters who at least join and learn about and be a part of this camp, what's kind of costs or at least potential costs for at least those parents to send those youngsters to that camp, and also to what do the youngsters learn during those 3 days being a part of that camp?
No, I appreciate you mentioning that and bringing it up to us. We, a few years back, actually a long time ago, Coach Haig and I, who's a coach out at South, started this camp, and he coached at East with me, and we ran it. Now he's doing his own little Bison camp. He does a Bison Junior Golf, and I do the East High Junior Golf Camp. And it's a $50 fee for 3 days of golf. We give them 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 15 minutes of instruction. With the new rules of golf going on, we've had to learn those. As coaches, we've had to learn those, and we're still learning them, as a matter of fact. So we do some golf rules. We do etiquette. We teach them the things that we feel are important, young kids. And we're opening this camp up for third graders through 8th graders. So we want kids that might be interested in golf. And we used to do 2 camps a day, and the afternoon camp got rained out or lightninged out, or we've had the kids. We had to get them in the hallway at Prairie View because of a tornado one time. So we decided that we were going to cut the afternoon camp. So we've been doing one camp. This will be our second year with one camp. We go from 10 to 12:15 or 12:30 or whatever it is. And it's been the last year was really successful. We said we're limiting it to the top 40 kids. We had 56 kids or something out there last year. So we found out that was probably too many for us. We are going to limit it to 40. And right now, as I speak, we sent home entries. It's pretty nice. The school district allows us to photocopy and send some flyers home to kids, to the families. And I've already 15 out of 40 spots are already filled for my camp, and I haven't sent the entry out yet. So it's kind of nice.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah, it is.
Let me ask you this, Coach, real quick. You are one of the unique sports in high school where you participate twice a year, and you start before everybody else starts. You're out having conference action, in middle August, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So you and cross country are basically running at about the same time, even tennis too. But you're not fortunate in the fact that you only have one state tournament, and that one state tournament's only in the fall, but you have a conference championship here in the spring. Why not a second state tournament?
Yeah, good question. I don't know. I think that before my time, I've been doing this for, I don't know, I think we figured 15 years this year. When I came on 15 years ago, that's just how it's always just been ran that way. We have a state in the fall and a conference in the spring, and we've been told, I've heard from other coaches in the state of Wyoming that if we were to eliminate that conference championship in the spring, that spring golf might go by the wayside. So in my mind, I have it that, well, one of the reasons we keep conference in the spring is so that we actually get to do a spring program. I've heard that there are other cities in the state of Wyoming that have a spring tennis. I don't think we do have that at any of our high schools here in Cheyenne, but there are some high schools around the state that have a spring tennis season. But otherwise, I guess that the main reason that we do the conference in the spring and the state in the fall is because if we don't, we might lose our spring golf. And it would be cool to have a state championship again in the spring. I think that would be a great idea. It's something that I don't think we've ever talked about, but we all, like I told you guys earlier, I guess in talking before, we are talking about moving our conference championship to the week before. We're going to call it a qualifying conference championship, where the kids that it's going to be used as a qualifier for the state championship. So that's something that I guess we have to look forward to. But hopefully it doesn't mean that our spring season gets swept under.
Yeah, it doesn't go by the wayside. Correct. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Again, but obviously that's up to the Activities Association, also to the school districts of how they approve of that, and hopefully they do eventually get that set in stone for golf here in the state of Wyoming. Going back at least on just a final thought from me for you, Coach. Again, appreciate you joining us here today, talking about Cheyenne East Golf. But going back to that youth camp, obviously again divulging of what is going to be a part of it, and also too of what the cost is involved for these youngsters, but for parents if they are still interested to fill up, and as you mentioned that you have 15 slots at least full, and you're at least looking to fill 40 in total. How do those parents get in contact, or at least sign up their kids to be a part of that summer camp?
Good, thanks. They can send them. Their kids should be getting an entry through the school district within the next. We sent them out today, so I'd say maybe Friday. If not this week, they'll get them after Memorial Day. So sometime next week, I'll have some dropped off at Prairie View as well, so they can always pick them up at Prairie View. And I believe you can go to East High. I believe Mr. Slavs, the athletic director at East, I think he has it up online as well. The entry for that's where I guess the other people that have signed up already are getting them. So so you can look online, I believe, through the East High website and get it there as well. So.
My final thought, Paul, and again, thank you too from me as well. Coming in, it's always nice to learn some more ins and outs about golf instead of just teeing it up and hitting it down number one. But you as the head coach and the Wyoming High School Activities Association, I don't know if there's guidelines, rules, especially from the golf standpoint, but if I'm your number one golfer and I give you a call and say, hey, let's go play 18 down at Flatirons, are you allowed to go out with your team members and play golf in the off season, in summertime, or tournaments, whatever?
Sure. We are. There's I think a 2-week contact before our fall season starts. I think it's a 1-week or a 2-week contact window where we're supposed to avoid contact with them. But if we're out at Prairie View and we're out at airport playing just out there, and Coach Oswald and I are together, and a couple kids from East or Central or South show up, and they pair them with us. How can we avoid that, I guess, so to say? Could we call them during the summer and ask them if they wanted to play? We have done that before. We do get the kids out there. We do check and make sure they're playing. We find out how they're playing in tournaments throughout the summer. We just keep in contact that way, and then going out and say playing with them. They want to beat us, and they can. Most of them are beating us now, which is a good thing. So it's fun to go out and compete against those kids sometimes too. So Coach Oswald and I definitely take advantage of that sometimes. Yeah.
All right, well, Coach, we want to thank you so much. Congratulations again on the 4-peat. East High head coach on the golf side, Paul Hartigan, join us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Take a timeout. We'll be back with more after these words here on 1480 KRAE.
At Platte Valley Bank, we understand that you have a busy life, and that means you don't always have time to come to the bank. That's why we offer user-friendly online and mobile banking with features such as bill pay, recurring transfers, and mobile deposit, so you can bank how you want when you want to. Whether you prefer to bank in person, over the phone, or online, Platte Valley Bank makes it easy to take care of your finances.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
You can count on Platte Valley Bank.
community banking for you.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Human history has shown anything is possible with inspiration and hard work. The 4-minute mile, a man on the moon, a water skiing squirrel, and now sirloin steak burritos from Taco John's.
Sirloin steak burritos are back at Taco John's. Stuffed with hand-carved sirloin steak and bold flavors like the melty, savory grilled cheese steak burrito, plus steak and shrimp or steak and potato olays. And for the morning, 2 steak and egg breakfast burritos. Sirloin steak burritos are back, but only for a limited time. Olay the day at Taco John's.
Right now, it's time to head over to Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service for low prices on outstanding RVs in Wyoming. Your local, exclusive Jayco dealer wants you to check out their closeout deals as well as their 2019 inventory of trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. You can save up to 30% on select models with approved credit. You can find them at 6102 East Highway 30. Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service is a proud sponsor of LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
In life, you question everything. The same should be true when it comes to managing your wealth. What are your investment recommendations based on? How much are you paying in fees? And how can those fees impact your returns? Charles Schwab encourages investors to get engaged and ask tough questions. To learn more, call the Schwab Cheyenne branch at 307-459-0998 or visit schwab.com/Cheyenne. Charles Schwab and Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range.
1480 KRAE is your home for live play-by-play coverage of high school basketball and football. Hi, this is Nick Brody inviting you to hear all the play-by-play calls of East, Central, and South football and basketball. You'll hear the conference action along with the postseason, and during the basketball season, 1480 KRAE features both boys and girls games. Catch all the exciting calls on AM 1480 KRAE, also streaming the games worldwide on the web at 1480krae.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with highs around 40. The tonight will be mostly cloudy with a slight chance of snow showers with lows around 31. On Thursday, it'll be cloudy with rain showers likely with highs around 40. And on Thursday night, it'll be partly cloudy with rain showers likely with lows around 29.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Back on Wyoming Sports Talk today, we were just commenting here during the break about all the camps that go on, and I'd be remiss because now we're about a month away from this. Man, we've been talking for a couple of months now. Laramie County Community College Golden Eagle Summer Basketball Camp, and this is for both boys and girls, ages 6 through 13. That is a 4-day event, June 24th through the 27th at the LCCC gym. It's $125 for the campers. The junior camp will introduce the fundamental skills of basketball in the areas of offense and defense, and the intermediate camp, ages 10 through 13, is designed to develop the basic skills of the game, introduce more advanced team and individual skills. Brian Ortmeyer, head coach of the Lady Golden Eagles, Jason Fick, the men's coach, along with the men's and women's basketball players, will be on hand to assist. For more info, you can just go to, LCCC.
Go LCCC.com.
Go LCCC.com. I was looking here. I'm seeing all these different email addresses, but you can get a hold of head coach Jason Fick at 307-778-1373 for more information or to sign up your camper. All right. We didn't talk about this yesterday, and I do want to mention that there is a new coach on staff for the University of Wyoming Cowboys. He does come
former staffer at North Dakota State.
Yeah, he's worked
very well known, or at least
he's worked with Coach Bull. He's also had a problem, a recruiting violation under his belt.
Yeah, so let's bring that to the University of Wyoming.
Well,
why not?
This is, as Coach Bull said, this was a mistake he made 10 years ago, and is he very remorseful for about it? Absolutely, and it won't happen again. And if it does happen again, probably will be.
How many coaches in NCAA have said something like that before and repeated, if not done, something in a violation? I'll give him. Obviously, I'm kind of tongue in cheek about this, but let's be honest. Again, how many coaches have come out and said something like that, has a statement, and found themselves at a new entity and did something just as bad?
The NCAA has reinstated him. The new coach, by the way, is Willie Mac Garza, and he will be taking care of the safeties for the University of Wyoming.
They need a lot of help this year because, again, they graduated a lot of talent.
Yes,
and,
they did.
Yeah, they need a lot of help there for the Wyoming Cowboys. But, again, a former product, or at least a former entity under Craig Bull at his time there at North Dakota State with the Bison.
I think it's 2005 to 2008, if I recall.
Yeah,
it's
they're
familiar with each other.
It's been a while, but again, does this move the needle any direction of regarding the University of Wyoming in football? Not really.
No,
I
would mention it.
Yeah, absolutely. But also too, it is kind of interesting of, hey, he's looking towards who he's familiar with, especially out of North Dakota State, and we've kind of seen the trend of where he's hired on those former Bison, at least coaches, and kind of we've had our issues with those coaches of trying to adjust here to at least Division I here on the Mountain West, especially kind of frontman one Brent Vegan with the Wyoming Cowboys, where it seems like a lot of these coaches so far kind of having a little difficulty transitioning from FCS to the FBS, especially here in the Mountain West with the Wyoming Cowboys.
Well, and it's the whole package. It's not just safeties and linebackers and linemen and linebackers coach. It's the whole package. And again, we'll delve into this more. We've already gone into the records of Coach Bull.
Oh, yeah, you already know
what he's brought to the table. Yeah. He hasn't brought the championships. He's brought us 2 bowl games. We're one of the bowls. But
like I said, I could go to the stats. I have the paper sitting right over there.
I understand that. But is this year going to be the telling year of Coach Bull? Or the fans last year were a little more vocal about the disappointment. Again, now Sean Chambers has been given the role as the starting quarterback heading into fall camp.
Not a guarantee, though. I would say not a guarantee.
No, but
again, he's favored.
And again, too, the spring game, it was not an offensive.
It was nothing special.
Yeah, it was not offensive excitement. So, this is...
You can't really judge. Again, spring games are as much of a joke as, kind of NFL preseason.
But it's again, some places like Alabama, and Nebraska, I mean, they take these things pretty serious.
It's a free opportunity, and again, to see who's going to be part of your team. I get that. But again, of trying to judge of what talent is on the field or what this team is going to be, you can't get it done.
Well, in the spring game, you're trying to move yourself up the depth chart.
No, absolutely. But again, of just judging what this team is going to be, you just can't. Again, it's more of kind of a fan festival in celebration more than it is of scouting reports and trying to figure out what this Wyoming Cowboys team is going to be this season. But obviously, again, we're 3 or so months away from at least getting underway with Cowboy football. But you got to wonder if this season is kind of a telltale, or it is a determining factor for Coach Craig Bull. Again, going back to
vocal about it.
I'm just saying, going back to my stats, the previous head coaches who had few more wins, it wasn't as impressive, or at least they were better than what Craig Bull has done so far here with University of Wyoming. At this point in time, they were moving on to other positions. They were
booted.
Yeah, they were finished at the University of Wyoming at this point in time. And again, they had more wins than what Craig Bull has had in his 5 seasons with the Wyoming Cowboys. Right. So you wonder right now, even though we talked with AD Tom Berman, he didn't really indicate, and obviously he's not going to with us, but you wonder if it is going to be a determining factor this season if this Cowboys team does finish below 500, if they do have another kind of rough season and don't make it to another bowl.
You look at a couple of the TV games that have been moved, that have moved in on the Wyoming Cowboys, and, there's a couple of games where we get late in the season, people aren't going to be showing up. Yeah. And that's going to be a tale.
They won't be showing up if this team's not winning, I'll say that.
Yeah, that's for sure. And what happened towards the end of the year last year? People weren't showing up.
Yeah, people weren't showing up. Boo birds were loud and clear out there.
I remember that one day we were there, boy, that one guy was merciless on I think it was vegan more than anything. A sad note out of the University of Wyoming, and I knew him from my days when I was doing the public address announcing over there. Met him on a few occasions. The University of Wyoming athletics family is heartbroken to learn that athletics Hall of Famer Steven Suter, who was a wrestling coach over at UW, he passed away this morning. Coach Suter, if I'm not mistaken, was either 63 or 64. I don't have his exact age, but anyway, the former wrestling coach over at University of Wyoming passing away this morning. All right, do we have anything left, or is it just you and me?
Just you and me, right?
All right, well, you know what we'll do is we'll go from the gridiron to the ice.
Are you sure about that? Or we haven't really talked a whole lot of baseball as well, too.
Well,
granted, there's not much to talk out in this area.
Rockies won. Marquez pitched well last night. Okay, so we'll give.
Still sub 500 at this point.
I know, but give Marquez his due last night. He pitched well. They're playing the Bucks, and you think Pittsburgh is going to be that team that's going to possibly sneak in as that that second wild card?
Does it determine their fate? Does it determine that, again, if Pittsburgh finds a way to falter against Colorado here in this series, that it determines their fate for the playoffs? Absolutely not. But
I don't see. First off, we already know how the ownership is there in Pittsburgh. If they find themselves out of the mix, maybe a few games under 500.
I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest with Pittsburgh, though. Again, they already did their fire sale, and it looks like they did it at the correct time. Where, again, some of the young talent that they brought up from their farm and kind of retained some of their key pieces that weren't kind of established in Major League Baseball, or at least with the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's kind of paid off. They're 3 games above 500. It's a team that is not dead last. Granted, again, you're only 2 games ahead of the Cincinnati Reds where they are, but they're 3.5 behind the Chicago Cubs. Again, looking at least below Milwaukee Brewers. They're still within it right now. Right now, Pittsburgh, after the fire sale that they did, where they should be kind of in the ranks of where Miami is after their fire sales. A few other teams, at least, to kind of look at. For instance, Detroit, where they're having their rough, at least, kind of seasons. No, Pittsburgh's kind of made the most of it.
They're actually, again, above the Mendoza line. You look at, they got one of the highly touted pitchers, young pitchers in Chris Archer. He was having a rough go. He's 1-4. He only went 5 innings against the Rocks last night. Marquez is now 5-2 for Colorado. He had he fashioned a 3-hit shutout through 8 innings last night through 104 pitches. So I thought it was I was listening to most of the game last night. I thought he did a really good job. You're starting to hear things now like Blackman is starting to heat up a little bit. He's hitting over 300. Arenado's been hitting steady 300 throughout the course of the season. But again, you still have the guys like Story whiffing a couple times every game. Dahl, he went off to this hot start. He is also a good strikeout candidate. Desmond, he's brought up the average about 30 points. He's hit 223. But other than that, they're just not wowing me.
They haven't at this point in time.
And
I don't think they will.
They haven't wowed Major League Baseball. There was so much.
Let's be honest, with Colorado, their only opportunity to make it to the playoffs this year, especially of how competitive the Central is, I'll even toss at least the East with those two between Philadelphia and Atlanta. Right now, for the Colorado Rockies, their only option right now to make it to the at least postseason is you got to win that division. And right now, LA, one of the hottest teams in Major League Baseball, a team that's looking like it's not going to slow down anytime soon. Granted, they've been doing this for however many years right now. You're 9.5 behind the Dodgers, and that's your only opportunity to probably make it to the postseason is winning that NL West. Right now, for Colorado, yes, you are getting hot. You are finding that offense. The pitching right now is your Achilles heel. And that is killing right now.
And I'm sitting here with egg on my face because I was over here touting these guys. Again, Gray, I've taken him off that number one starter, but you know what? John Gray has not beaten himself out on the mound. His team does not score runs for him.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's entering tonight's game with a 4.6 ERA. Yeah, that's giving up 4 runs over 9 innings. Well, this Rockies team should be scoring about 7-8 runs every game. Freeland has just looked terrible this year.
Yeah.
Don't know what's going on with Freeland. Don't have the answer. And unfortunately,
maybe move him down to Albuquerque at this point.
Who knows? Anderson has just been a complete waste for the Rocks.
Yeah.
So Marquez has been steady Eddie. Chad Bettis, who was a starter, now is into that long relief role. While Chris Russell
for the best, yeah.
While he's trying to heal up, the bullpen still has problems with Shaw and Dunn and O.
Yeah,
McGee's been hurt. That again, Jake is no steady Eddie as well. Davis hasn't had many great opportunities, but he's also made us bite our fingernails when he's come into play. So it's a frustrating season thus far if you are a Rockies fan. Yes.
Yeah. Again, with 46 games under their belt, obviously, again, you got 120 still, or at least 116 left for the Colorado Rockies to still be played. Still a lot of baseball, but right now we have a good sample size of what this Rockies team is going to be like. And right now, especially what we're seeing of how MLB is meshing, especially in the National League, especially in the West right now, where, again, here's San Diego. Again, San Diego, where you're saying, hey, write them off. Again, I don't think they're winning the West. They're not. No one is. Right now, Dodgers are going to win your NL West division title again. Let's be honest. Dodgers, barring some massive collapse, granted, they can do that. We saw that a few years ago. They can absolutely collapse. But granted, they kind of build up a comfortable kind of lead, and that's what we're seeing right now to have for at least for the Dodgers to have eventually one of those collapses if they do at all this season. But nothing is showing to me that any 4 teams beside the Dodgers are going to catch them and win this NL West.
Yeah.
Because that is your only option right now to make it the postseason, especially what we're seeing out of the Central, of how competitive that is going to be, where you might have 3 representatives out of that NL Central in the postseason with the 2 wild cards there.
I don't know. I mean, the Cardinals are starting to go into fade mode, so I don't even know if they're even going to be a part of the equation.
I don't write off St. Louis, though. I really don't. St. Louis, a team that was in the same position
I will
last
write
year.
off the Pirates. I'm sorry. Clint Hurdle's team usually has that drop-off. They're only 3 games above the Mendoza line right now. I don't think they're going to be around when it's all said and done. Again, Milwaukee and Chicago are the teams you got to vault over. They're not going to vault over them. Over in the West, I don't see the Dodgers. Unfortunately, fans, I hate the Dodgers. I will always hate the Dodgers, but I got to be real honest. I don't see them fading.
Yeah, they are.
They're just too good.
They're looking like a team that's going to make it back to the World Series. So let's be honest. They are playing that good.
I won't go that far. I'll say they'll get into the playoffs.
I think they do. I think they have, again, obviously, that is their expectations right now in Dodgerville to at least, granted, they've been to the World Series. Obviously, they want to win that championship. They are always a threat to do that, and they are again this season. But right now, I think it is something where you can say at this point in time that, yeah, Dodgers are going to probably – they should win the NL West.
As for the Padres and the Diamondbacks in the West, They're a game over 500 right now. Yes, they'll get healthy when they play the Giants, but they're going to beat each other up.
Yeah.
They're going to be basically, those two teams are going to be 500 or below.
I think teams right now, especially in the National League, of where I would officially say you're done, you have no shot. Giants, absolutely. Cincinnati is not going to have an opportunity. Miami, clearly. The Nationals, where they are well behind, they're 19-29 so far. And then, again, I'll say
I won't write off the Cardinals. The Cardinals are 500.
But I'm just saying, of those four,
good.
I'll say those four teams are definitive of, yes, you are not making postseason. You are done at this point. Good luck in 2020. Right now, teams that are on the outside in eventually might get pushed into that at least committee.
One could be the Rocks.
Rockies are right there on that fringe right now, where it's hard to believe that they're going to climb up and have a miraculous, at least come from behind, or at least have a phenomenal month. I just don't.
They just haven't had any consistency. And again, they start out terrible, then they get on a little run, and then they go back and forth. They're back and forth. They're back and forth. They have not been able to heat it up. Again, the pitching has been the killer. There's inconsistencies too with the Rockies on their fielding as well, and in the infield with Murphy, Hampson, who can't hit his weight. So you got McMahon playing second base again. Bud Black has had so many different lineup changes.
Yeah.
There's been no consistency with the Rockies. Their record bears what I'm talking about. 21-25. Bud Black needs to get a starting 8, get it there. Obviously, you're going to have to switch out your catchers, but you need to get a starting 8 and get them ready to play ball and start winning some games.
You need to do it now, because you pretty much pushed the envelope at this point in time, where you're digging yourself a bigger and bigger hole where you're not going to be able to climb out. And Rockies right now are on that kind of precipice of they're going to eventually kind of fall in that hole and bury themselves alive.
Well, and again, this pretty much says it about the Rockies here. Over their last 10 games, they're 5-5. They are mediocre.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's not going to get it done, at least here in the NL West, especially where you're looking behind the National League, at least National League leader, the LA Dodgers, where they sit 32-17. They have a 9.5 game lead at this point over the Colorado Rockies. So again, that speaks of where things stand right now in baseball. It'll be an interesting question. Granted, we are almost at the 5 o'clock hour, but again, we'll save it for tomorrow or whenever. But for the Colorado Rockies, if they miss out on the postseason, have a rough year of what it potentially could be,
they spent a lot of money.
What does that mean, though?
I don't know.
Again, for Bud Black, for a lot of that, for the staff, and also too for a lot of personnel on the field.
Well, it'd be general manager Jeff Bridges.
That's true too.
Real quick here, congratulations, St. Louis Blues. They win the West. They beat San Jose last night, 4-2. They'll match up with the Boston Bruins in the Stanley Cup Finals. I do believe that gets underway Monday night in Beantown. Boston will have home ice advantage throughout the playoffs. Coming up this evening from